like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to help the channel grow. Every little bit counts. Welcome back, fellow hijackers, or is it passengers? Or is it hijackers disguised as passengers? After this episode, I'm convinced the only two people that aren't in on it are the two kids. And even that's up for debate. In this video, I will be recapping episode 6, just in case you missed something. So, fasten your seatbelts for the next 11 minutes. We get our first look at the ringleaders of the Cheapside firm as they're being released from prison. Although if you ask me, it's really only one ringleader, and that's Edgar. I don't think Johnny says more than 2 words throughout the entire episode. I don't recognize the actor who plays Johnny from anything recently. However, Edgar is played by Simon McBurney, whom I recognize from multiple movies, and most recently, I enjoyed his portrayal of Runyon Millworthy in Prime Video's Carnival Row.
Thank you.
Zara explains to the group that not only are they tracking Johnny and Edgar by GPS, but they are also being followed by Daniel and Erica. The foreign secretary doesn't seem too pleased about this staged release of the prisoners, as she makes it a point to let everyone know who authorized it.
This release.
Staged release?
It's a Home Office decision.
Thank you, we are aware of that.
Now, I don't know how prisons work in the United Kingdom, but I know for damn sure even a staged release would take a hell of a lot longer to organize. And these guys were released, given their personal property and a vehicle, and on the road in less than an hour. I think it would take longer than that just to get both prisoners out of their individual cells in the United States. The Home Office's plan is to comply with Edgar as slowly as possible in hopes that the airplane lands safely before he and Johnny are able to make a clean getaway. Johnny and Edgar notice that they're being followed, so they use a bottleneck in their road to pull over. Erica and Daniel fail to stop in time and just about pull up right behind the parked car. At this point, Edgar walks up to Daniel, gives him a phone, and tells him,
I made it quite clear to your colleagues in prison. I said, anyone stop us, anyone follow us, and people start dying. That was our agreement. You just broke that agreement, Daniel.
Sam decides to check the cockpit because Stuart and Jamie were acting very suspicious after getting a text message. Sam enters the cockpit and finds Jamie watching Stuart trying to strangle Diva with a belt. This is followed by an extremely weird conversation between Stuart and Sam.
I mean, it's a good choice. You've got to kill one passenger, so you might as well kill one of the crew, because, well, they're walking about and they're not leaving an empty seat.
That's it.
Right. And no one will even know they're gone.
That's right.
It's smart, it's clever. And the belt's really clever as well, because it's quiet. No one will hear a shot. No one will even know it happened.
In the end, Sam saves Diva's life by convincing Stuart that he doesn't have to kill anyone else, he can just send Edgar a picture of Sheena, who was already dead. Edgar sends Daniel the picture of Sheena on the airplane with a boarding pass marked Flight KA-29 next to her dead body, to show the extents they are willing to go through to ensure they are not being followed. It's a somber scene back at Collingwood House once the photo of Sheena circulates the table. Kai overhears the cleaner's plans of taking his mother hostage to prevent Sam from causing any more problems on the plane. After realizing he left his cell phone downstairs, he comes up with a plan to use a landline phone that he found under his dad's bed. We finally get a name for the shady guy who handed the Home Secretary the envelope with the hijackers' list of demands. He goes by the name Devlin. When he summons a corrupt reporter to a bar, under the threat of blackmail, he demands that he breaks the news about Flight KA-29 being hijacked. Sam convinces the pilot and the rest of the passengers in first class that they have to get the rest of the passengers ready to take control of the plane, in case the hijackers get another text from Edgar demanding another body, or more. Sam devises a plan of passing around a drink carton named Cocoa Smash, with the phrase, "Get ready to shake things up," circled in pen. In what looks like a stroke of bad luck, there's an accident on the road ahead of Johnny and Edgar, causing them to be delayed. We see Edgar threaten to request another passenger killed if Daniel doesn't clean up what he perceives as a fake accident that the government set up to try and stop their plans of getting away before the plane lands. Kai manages to sneak past the cleaners into the downstairs laundry room where he plugs in the landline and calls for emergency services. As he is speaking to the operator, he hears about the hijacking from the news playing on the television. As Sam's plan takes effect, and news spreads throughout the plane, we see multiple passengers getting ready whatever makeshift weapons they can find. While this is going on, we see a quick scene of the passenger IMDb credits as Amanda talking to the unidentified hijacker that smuggled the weapons on board, who is now also credited by IMDb as Alec.
Where?
Johnny and Edgar take a detour through a gate and onto an access road next to the railway, allowing them to circumvent the traffic accident. Zara and her team, along with air traffic control, narrow down the two criminals' potential destination to one spot, Fernhill Airfield, where the counterterrorism unit already has special forces in place. As Johnny and Edgar head directly towards Fernhill Airfield, they drive into some thick foliage, causing the drone to lose visual contact with the truck. As the authorities begin to panic, the GPS tracker shows that the truck is stationary. While Zara and her team try to figure out why they have stopped, the Home Secretary expresses his opinion.
They're opening another gate. The hell do you think they're doing?
As the GPS tracker begins to move again, the drone regains its visual of the truck. Between the hijacker named Jaden catching the passengers circulating the Cocoa Smash bottle with Sam's note to get ready to shake things up, and Sam observing Stewart counting the remaining bullets in his clip after getting a text on his phone, there is a lot of miscommunication and confusion among the passengers on if and when to make their move and try to take back the plane. Jamie brings the Cocoa Smash bottle to Stewart, who believes it was Hugo that circled the text on the side of the bottle, because he had previously seen him with a pen. Before they can get Hugo out of his chair, Sam confesses that he did it and even shows the pen he used. We see the airfield that Johnny and Edgar are currently making their way towards, overrun with military personnel as they are getting into position awaiting their orders. The Foreign Secretary and the Home Secretary are not in agreement over how the situation is being handled.
This goes back to what I said at the start. We do not negotiate.
The plan was to comply, slowly.
And we did, but that was then. These are two of the highest profile criminals in this country. They don't just get to leave.
They can do what they want.
This is a Home Office matter, and that is the Home Office decision.
They are killing innocent people!
Okay, we should clear the room, give you
What
both
part of that are you not getting? They've shot one. Murdered one. There she is. You've seen her on the wall beside you, smiling, starting her new job on Monday. If you can be bothered to turn.
As the Foreign Secretary finally comes to a decision to have the military stand down, the Home Secretary explains to her that it is too late, and we see the military apprehend who they think is Johnny and Edgar. Zara, through one of the soldiers' body cams, is able to confirm a negative ID on the men being detained. At this point, Zara and her team realize that when Johnny and Edgar stopped under the trees and the drone lost footage, they made a switch with two other men. The next time we see Johnny and Edgar, they are hiking towards an untraceable vehicle they had planted in the woods nearby, which only proves they are 2 steps ahead of the counterterrorism unit. As Stewart is panicking, waving his gun around, trying to figure out which innocent person he's going to have to kill, right as he begins to settle on a victim, we hear a cell phone buzz. Stewart chooses a female passenger to kill as he's dragging her by her hair down the aisle. Sam decides it's time to act. He gestures to the pilot to retake the cockpit as he runs down the aisle and tackles Stewart. As Sam and Stewart begin fighting, we see Amanda get up and go into the restroom right in front of the co-pilot. During the commotion of Sam and Stewart fighting, Jaunty gets the jump on Terry, along with help from the rest of the economy class passengers. As Amanda exits the restroom with a loaded weapon, she marches down the aisle, pointing the gun straight ahead. You think for a second, she might be an air marshal until she shoots the pilot in the head and locks herself in the cockpit. When the gunshot rang out, you see genuine confusion on the faces of Jamie, Stewart, and especially Sam. Okay, so now, by my count, we have 7 hijackers on the plane, with 1 being deceased. We knew Alec was a hijacker since episode 1 because he was the guy that smuggled all the guns onto the plane. And it seems he's happy just pretending to be a passenger and not getting involved. We just didn't learn his name until this episode. Amanda was a sleeper hijacker the entire time. We also just learned her name this episode. Both of those are according to IMDb. And no, I don't think the original hijackers knew she was there, judging by the way Stewart watched her walk by him with that gun in complete confusion. Question 1. Can she fly a plane because she's locked in the cockpit, and we are only left with the co-pilot? Question 2. Will we see Johnny and Edgar again now that they are in the wind? Question 3. Will the passengers have control of the plane, except for Amanda and the cockpit? Answer 1. I do believe she can fly the plane. I think Johnny and Edgar put her on the plane because there was some sort of distrust with the original 5 hijackers. Answer 2. For some reason, I think Daniel will catch up with Johnny and Edgar since he is still considerably close to where they picked up their drop car. Answer 3. No, I don't think the passengers will take over the plane. I think Jamie and Jaden will come to the rescue of Terry and Stewart. Theory. I think Amanda will not open the cockpit door. I think she will stay in the cockpit and only take orders from Johnny and Edgar. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'll see you guys on the next one.